Hello everyone, this is Gentleman here. I'm going to be showing you my Brazil city streak of 25. This is technically a record right now in a competition literally with only me and Jupa, but I'm sure someone will beat me. Here we see the city on the taxi, so that is not particularly hard. If you came from the document, welcome. If you are here on your own and you haven't read the document, then I suggest you do. That's if you want to learn about the clues that I'm using to work out which Brazilian city that I am in. So this second one a lot harder. It's sort of a vibe guess, but it's mainly this this painted speed bump with the diagonal paint, and we have yellow lines going through this residential area, which is really something that is it's something you're only really going to see in the federal capital, as far as I'm aware. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, this is the only place that would paint the residential streets to this degree and have these speed bumps around. Here quickly we do see the yellow square on the sign, which is tied by a zip tie. This can only be in Natal in regards to state capitals, and it's all over that state. Here we quickly see a Minas Gerais lamp, and we see on the pole the Belo Horizonte placard tied by a zip tie. If you want to get a better look at any of these things, I have close-ups in the document. So here we have a slightly more rural round. We are in Gen 3 again. We have round poles. So if we have round poles, it's gonna make it so it's gonna rule out a lot of areas. It's gonna rule out most of the northeast states. We see there are palms in the distance, but it's most likely that they're going to be more Amazonian palms. We also, I think we have an Amazonian palm just in front of us and in the front garden there. So with all the clues, we also have a Gen 3 car with no antenna, and in regards to the Amazonian states, the North states, at least the ones that mostly have Gen 3 coverage, in Amapá it's the most likely for sure. In Acre and Rondônia, it's impossible to have Gen 3 with no antenna on. So here I'm just kind of thinking, well, the street doesn't really align with the grid, so how sure am I that it's Macapá? So just kind of trying to think if there's anything that I'm missing. Maybe it's some Gen 3 coverage somewhere else. I do inevitably go Macapá. Spoiler alert. So most of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is stuff that, as far as I know, isn't. I mean, if people know it, then it isn't public knowledge. There's no kind of information out there that these things exist. At least for most of the kind of pole stuff or the uh, the light stuff. For sure, the sidewalk stuff, the unique sidewalks that I'm sharing. So that is a 5 we do end up going with Macapá, and it is correct. I am going to be trying to pronounce the names of places somewhat correctly. Here we see a light which you only see in Sao Luis. It's a little bit similar to other lights. It looks a little bit pointy at the front, and it has a yellow top, and it has the bend at the top. This is pretty. I mean, it is completely unique as long as you can kind of work it out. Here it's pretty close up, so we can sort of work it out pretty well. I know I do go past a pole here. So this pole, I think we do see it. Yeah. So on the top here, we do see that we have a yellow square. It's like the one in Natal and the whole of Rio Grande de Norte, I think is the state. Um, it's similar, but it's sort of part of the pole. It's not tied. So this is something that's exclusive to this city, but it's a lot more rare. It's in Natal. It's on most poles. Here, I definitely wouldn't say it's most. I would say it's more likely than not that you won't have it. So I do try and work it out. I spend a little while on it. I spend about 30 seconds on it. We do get it right for the purposes of the video. I will fast forward. This one actually we will go back a little bit. So we have the unique João Pessoa pavement. Trying to look at the lamp here, but not really getting any clues. And then we do have the CEP, which is pretty important to memorize if you're playing urban locations. If you're playing, a balanced Brazil or whatever, probably not, but you're going to be on the street, on intersections a lot because it's pinpointable locations. Here in Terracina, we got the lamp and we got the area code. We get the area code pretty quickly here as well. So 2 nice easy rounds in a row, always helpful. This one also ends up being easy. Trying to see if we can get an area code here. And then we turn and we can see that this sign here has an address on, which I end up seeing after I see below it has the CEP on. So after I recall that and find it on the map, we go with Maceió as the answer. So that is a 10 streak. Some nice easy rounds in a row there. This one, not so much if you don't really know it, but we have this yellow tactile, that's red, red tactile pavement, and the pavement like this, it's very common in Vitoria, and you can see it in other places, but across Vitoria, it's like super common. Even on a street like this, which is obviously quite a small road and doesn't really have much going on. You'll see me check the car color as well in these. All that stuff is in the document. If you're going to go for a street like this, it's pretty important that you want to, split the states that you could guess in half by knowing what car color we have. Here we have a wooden pole over there, which is interesting. We also see the area code just about. It's a little hard to see, but it does say 62. And I mean, with all the lights looking like Goiânia lights, it's pretty clear that we're going to go with a Goiânia here. since we're already on a pretty high streak, I'm not really rushing. There's not really any need to speed run it. But yeah, I do end up being pretty certain it is going on here. Here we go in, and we get it for 12. Off the bat here we get a Florianopolis pole bottom. If you're going for a better score, it is usually on the island, on the Santa Catarina island, rather than the São Jose side. This one I'm pretty certain is Portobello, and then it does actually say on the top right there, Portobello, which I didn't see when I zoomed in, but I remember as I was zooming in I saw it. But with the hazy coverage, it's pretty clear. As well as the concrete bins. All of anything that I'm talking about, if you want to see a close up, it's going to be in the document below. Here we have Recife, I believe it's pronounced. Not exactly, but something like that. Recife lights. If that is completely wrong, then do tell me. You get lights kind of like it in a few other places, but not really with ladder poles. You get similar lights in Sao Paulo. Here we also just have this yellow tide sign which says the city on. Checking, see if I'm recording in true Geoguessr fashion. Get the area code straight over here as well. Moving pretty quickly now. Interesting road texture, and then straight away we just see the Terrazina light, which is beautiful. And then we get the CEP, so obviously going really well. Then we get another CEP, so obviously really lucky that I'm not having to make any kind of guesses from more rural rounds most of the time. Until we get to this one, which is a rural round. We do end up getting it pretty quickly based on the concrete bins and the grid. So the grids in Macapá and Porto they're pretty distinct, and they go different ways, which is nice of them. Again, we have another concrete bin. This one, again, this is a little trickier. There is sort of a grid here. I think we do take a fair amount of time on this one, and we do sort of vibe guess it. So we'll fast forward it a bit. Looks like we are going for our guess here. Or not. Highlight. So I think I'm thinking it's Rio Branco or Porto Velho here. That definitely isn't the correct pronunciation of that city, but I'm doing my best. That's all I can do. Taking a little while because I don't want to lose the streak, obviously. I'm sure we guess at some point. Here? And we do get it, and we do get it on the right grid area. Marking on a pole that I'm not familiar with. Obviously, I don't know every marking on every pole that could possibly be. We do see it a little bit closer up, and then we see a Belém light. So we get that. We see an area code on a transport truck. Obviously, you can't trust a transport truck. Could be anywhere. Probably not anywhere. Most likely, obviously, Natal, but yeah, then we see, well, eventually we see an area code of a business right in front of us, which is helpful of them. We see the electricity meters. There is a marking on the pole, but we can't really make out exactly which one it is, but take a look at the car, which is blue. So we are sort of painting a picture here that this is Koyaba. And we do go in, make a guess. A little bit tricky to work out the car. I think at first I thought it was blue, but actually looks white. And then we get to the CP, which is 65, and it's Sao Luis. And we get it. So, that's it, actually. This one we actually get wrong. We could have got it. It was Guaiba, but it's, you can kind of tell it's a lot different to the last round, so the last Guaiba round. But yeah, thank you for watching. Um, if I get any other streaks, I'll be sure to upload, but please enjoy the information that I've shared, and see you next time.